Frank Gore, virtually non-existent in the game. T.Y. Hilton, 83 yards before he left with that knee injury. We're hearing now that it's a day-to-day situation. Whether or not he plays or not a week from tonight, we'll see, although it was not a broken knee, so that's the good news. Bills quarterback Tyrod Taylor, really good in his first start, 195 yards, 51 yards on a TD strike. What sticks out in your mind as you look back at that? I mean, is Tyrod Taylor on an MVP path now, or what?
Well, to be honest with you, he played a steady game. I didn't think he did anything that was phenomenal or outstanding.
He didn't make any mistakes, though.
Right, he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't turn the ball over,
right.
And that was the biggest key. But you look at those numbers, 14 and 19, 51 of those 195 yards came on one play.
Right.
The touchdown pass to Percy Harvin, obviously that's a big play. And then I think he rushed for 41 yards, which is modest, thinking what he could have done maybe. But 31 of those yards came on one play. So you take those two big plays away, and he really has an average day, but he did not turn the ball over. He's kind of everybody. I've heard the comparisons to this team to the Seattle Seahawks team, and I'm going to tell you why I think that's kind of correct, because you got a running game. You got LaShawn McCoy, you got Carlos Williams, who looked outstanding yesterday, the rookie out of Florida State, looked really good. You got a defense. You got a defense that can just go out there and win games on their own. You have to be a Russell Wilson type. You have to go out there and manage the game, not to turn the ball over, but you also have to do, when you are going to run and do that kind of stuff with the read option and things like that, have that sixth sense not to take that big hit and get injured. And that's what Russell Wilson has. And I think we didn't really have to see if Tyrod Taylor had that. I saw a couple times he got down before a big hit came yesterday, which was impressive. So he's going to avoid those injuries, but is he going to do it long term and take those Bills from a 9-7, just missing the playoff team, to a playoff team and potentially further?
I thought in many ways the first drive kind of crystallized how the rest of the game was going to go. Especially you get that 20, 30-yard pass to Dwayne Allen for the touchdown. That's brought back by a Khaled Holmes penalty. And this is the first drive of 2015, and it looked like that.
Yeah, it started out really well. I mean, we were moving the football. We looked good. I liked how we won.
Frank Gore, 8-yard carry.
First
play
you're
of the
thinking,
game. Okay, here we go, boys.
Yeah, one of their safety gets knocked out of the game, so they're playing with a backup safety. They got a second-round rookie pick at one of the corners. You're like, I'm feeling pretty good about what our offense could do today. And then that drive gets stalled because of that holding penalty. And the very next play, we get a false start penalty, so we're sitting at 1st and 25. It's hard to overcome penalties and turnovers in the NFL, especially against a defense like that. I thought to be in this game, to win this game, we needed to win 1st and 2nd down. Because if you win 1st and 2nd down, you're looking at 3rd and 3, 4, or less.
3rd and manageable.
3rd and manageable. And then they can't get into all their exotic defenses where they were moving around. I'm sure you guys that watched the game saw them moving around, coming from all different angles. We didn't win 1st and 2nd down. And the first series of the game, it was in large part due to the penalties. And when you nullify that big play, and then it was punt, and then they punted, and then we punted, and then they punted, and then that's when they threw the 51-yard touchdown pass. And then after that, they kick off to us. We have a special teams there with Dante Moncrief. He slips and gets tackled inside the 5-yard line on a questionable whether I should bring it out.
Right.
We can't do anything on offense. We got to punt it back to them. They drive down, kick a field goal. So now it's 10-0. Okay, we're not
still in it.
We didn't do what we wanted to do, but we're okay. And then we come down, we miss a field goal, give them great field position, and then they score before halftime on a drive where they looked like they were okay settling for a field goal. You know, they run
Next
Carlos Williams up the middle.
Yeah.
We don't do a good job of our gap scheme up front, and then linebackers didn't make the tackle. He runs for a touchdown. It's 17-0. They get the ball coming out of the second half. Boom, it's 24-0, and then you can't come back on a defense like that.
24-0. It's a tough road to hoe. After that, Gore, we kind of knew he was going to have limited carries in that game. Pitch count, that was the phrase everybody was using last week. Only 8 carries. Were you surprised by that? I mean, the way the game played out, you got to start throwing the ball in the second half anyway. So that added to that. But just 8 carries for a guy like Frank Gore, I thought it was a little light.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a little light. I thought he did a really good job in pass protection when we did throw the ball. But there were stretches there where we threw the ball many times in a row without trying to hand it off. And I thought we could have utilized him more. But again, they were bringing people. They were coming.
3-step drops.
You
a lot
could
of the
tell
time.
we were just a little bit off in our pass protection at times. That's why we got those holding penalties early. I felt like our receivers didn't do a big strength of our team. Our receivers didn't do a great job of getting off press coverage or getting separation from the man-to-man coverage versus single safety. We couldn't get down the field. The one time we tried to go down the field, they intercept the ball. You know, the second-round pick intercepts the ball, and then that's led to the 51-yard touchdown pass. So just things that I thought that we would have been really good at, especially against a team like that. I was saying, go ahead and blitz. Go ahead and come after me. Give me one-on-one with T.Y. and Andre and Dante. And I thought Phillip did a good job catching the ball, not so much in special teams returning kicks. But we were going to get big plays all over the field, and it didn't happen.
I mean, the Colts spent a lot of money in the offseason on the offense. Was it money well spent at this point? I don't know. Maybe in the long – I know, that's a tough question.
In the long run, it's money well spent, because I do think these guys will help us win a lot of ball games. You guys got to remember, it's the first week of the season. This was a tough test, okay?
You got to realize, too, this is overreaction Monday.
Oh, of course, right? Overreaction.
We're talking fans off the cliff here.
See, this is
like a therapy session, for crying out loud.
This is why all the teams I was on, if we would lose a game or something like that, we would lock the doors. Don't let anybody in, because you're going to start hearing from here and here and here. Well, you know, this wasn't good, this wasn't good. Well, what about our defensive line? I thought our defensive line played great. You know, all those rookies. Henry Anderson was all over the field.
I was going to say, Anderson was tremendous.
David Perry, he didn't really show up, but I saw him do some good things up front. Kendall Langford showed up really early. Yeah. He made a lot of money in the offseason with the contract from us. He showed up really early, had a couple tackles for loss. Didn't really show up later on in the game, but there was things that surprised me. You know, Darius Butler, he got beat on the long touchdown pass to Percy Harvin. He also got beat on a couple inside routes. Right. You know, one out route to the Colts sideline for a first down. That was a big play.
Vontae Davis only targeted a couple times.
Well,
so that is
solid.
A holdover from last year.
Oh, he was solid. And you just watch him on plays, and it's almost like he studies. He knows the game so well. He knows his opponent so well that he knows what kind of route he's going to run, and he's always in the right place. Like, I saw Sammy Watkins at times. He could have ran a post and would have beat Vontae, but Vontae knew the way he was stemming that he was going to come back outside to the corner, and he was there waiting for him.